Yeah. So today we will be discussing about the next part of the session that is called loops. We will be having a uh, discussion on this. Let me share the screen. So let me start this. Now today's session we will be discussing about loops actually. We also call it as a looping constructs. In C programming, which is the most foundation for any programming language, uh, and in that for loop, while loop, do while loop, these are the different set of looping constructs we have. In this, we will be discussing one by one. And we will see a few programs when we are going to learn this. Let us understand that. What is looping process? Why are we required a looping process? Because sometimes we have to repeat the same task. Assume that in a page, I want to print hello world 100 times. Instead of writing 100 times, it is better to repeat the repetitive task. That is what we call it as a loop actually. So what are the different types of loops we have? In practically, especially in terms of C programming, which is the foundation for any other programming language, we have three different types of looping constructs. So that is more important to understand for us. Let me go back and explain further. So here in the looping constructs, okay, probably I can say that there are three loops. One is while loop. Second one is we call it as a do while loop. And third one is nothing but for loop. So when you talk about while loop, let me take one while loop. Okay, what it is actually. So if you look at this, for example, while loop in the sense, here, this is one way of repetitive task. All looping constructs are performing used for repetitive task only, repetitive tasks. So in this actually, while loop, when we are talking about, so usually we should have in any programming language, first we discuss about syntax. What is syntax is talking about, like for example, initialization, okay, semicolon, then while condition. Let us not worry what is that condition. Then we have to write statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, So like this, we have n number of statements. And this is called while. For example, let me take a for example how it works. Let me take, I wanted to perform like a sum of 5 consecutive number. Sum of 5 consecutive. What you can do is, like if you want to do this, I can do first initialization as per this statement. I can initialize to a I is equal to 0, some counter, maybe counter is 0. Then sum maybe is equal to 0 because I wanted to do that. While I less than, okay, or equal to, if it's 0, otherwise if I start with 1 initialization, I is less than or equal to n, that is nothing but 5 here. Then, okay, sum is equal to sum plus I. Then I can do the operations till 5. Then print f. the sum is %d or %f. So sum. Now, if you look at this, this is a initialization as per the syntax. And this is the condition where I less than first I1, next 2. So it has to be incremented. Increment or decrement operator. Here also, if you look at this, increment or decrement operator. So the same thing, if I apply here, I can give I is equal to I plus 1. There may be shorthand representation. Since as a beginner, I am not worried about too much. So what I'm talking about is I is equal to I plus 1. So incrementing. First I is equal to 1. So what it is doing? I is equal to 1. Okay. Next step is the sum is equal to 0 plus 1. That is equal to 1. Now, when I is equal to 2, what we are doing? Sum is equal to, already sum has 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So then I is equal to 3. Then sum is equal to, already 3 is there. This is 3. It may go to the 6. I is equal to 4. Then sum is equal to, like a 4 plus, so sorry, 6 plus 4. That may be 10. I is equal to 5. Then the same sum statement can be sum plus, sum is nothing but, sum is nothing but 10 plus 5 is equal to 50. Then it is printing a sum that is equal to 50. So this is how logic can be built and logic can be understood. This is nothing but initialization, and this is nothing but condition, and this is nothing but we are writing the statement. Statement 1 and statement 2. Like this, we are keep adding this and we are able to build this actually. Now, if you look at this program, let me go to the Turbo C just to write this type of program. Let me go there. Okay. So let me okay. Now if I write this, so how are we writing? So sum of maybe so it is not Python. So let us write sum of n consecutive numbers using while loop. Using while loop. The first concept we are trying here. So what are we trying to do is here? Maybe first, as usual, include studio.h. Then maybe void main. I can write here. I can declare sum is equal to 0. I is equal to 1 or something like that. It depends upon us. So let me declare this. Now, as usual, we already know that what is the purpose of adding clear screen. And let me add here this corresponding header. Okay, Ponyo dot. Now, once this is done, now what are we trying to do is we have to initialize I is equal to 1, counter is equal to 1, while I less than. So if I want to mention 5, instead of that, if I want to generalize, I can write printf, enter the limit of n, scanf, %d, ampersand. So then I have to limit or n, I can do this. So I can take the limit as n here. So I have taken here n. Now, n is equal to 5, n it may be 10, n may be 6, or n may be 7. So I will take this here. Okay. Then I will be adding here. So I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, I is equal to 3, like this. Now I have to perform some of the operations now. Okay. I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2. So that means I have to perform sum plus I can be 1, I can be 2, I can be 3. If it is n is equal to 5, up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is what we are doing here, is equal to. Then counter I should be incremented, I plus 1. Then once this is done, I want to print the total sum of n consecutive, one after the other number. I wanted to print the total is, if all are integer, so it should be integer only. Then that is a sum. Now once this is done, so we will write a get ch. Then we will try to execute. So control F9. So enter the limit. I can give you 5. Then the total sum is this one. So likewise, let me window of this. Because it is a old editor, always sum of dot C. Let me close this. We open once again. Let me open. So we have this. So we have executed this program only. Now control F9. So enter the limit. It may be 5. So we got a 50. So this is whatever we have discussed. Using while loop, we have achieved the same. We have achieved the same. The same program, there are 3 different ways, as I said. One is while loop. Similar to that, we can do, let me go back. So discuss about other thing also. Now we have understood what is while loop. So this is also performing repetitive task. Here the condition is initialized, then we have executed. Similar to that, we have one more loop, we call it as a do while loop. So this is nothing but second part of it. This is called as a do while loop. So in the do while loop, we have do, then we have statement 1, statement 2, and after that we may be having the condition. So there is an increment or decrement operator. Then before this one, we will check the condition, and then whether we want to execute next step or not. So sometimes it happens that, okay, here, like we should know the condition. Okay. We should know, before entering itself, I know the condition. But unfortunately, here, In some situations, I don't have realistic data to check the condition. Rather, after computation, some steps, I can get the conditions. In such scenarios, it is instead of using the while loop, we will be using the do while loop. So do while loop, it will be having the statement 1, statement 2, increment, decrement operator, and while conditions. So we are able to execute like this. For example, the syntax here, if you want to use this, okay, in do while loop, let us, the same program let me take. So let me take the same program. If I want to use the same program, so initialization, what I will do is, instead of doing this condition, I will remove this. I will put here. Similarly here, I will be adding. So here I am adding the do. So do while, and then this is I am doing. So same operation, but initialization, initially I'm not worried about anything. Just I have initialized. Instead of prior checking, after one iteration, I'm going to check here. This type of statement we call it as a do while loop. For example, let me go back here and see here. Okay. Let me go back here. Here, let me create, let me take, if you see the same code, if I want to modify this to the do while loop, as I said, so I will copy. So here, while same condition I am writing. So this I am removing here. Do. And here sum is equal to sum plus I. So I have not changed anything. Just I have initialized here. Sum is equal to sum plus I am doing. Then I is equal to I plus 1. I have not modified anything. So instead of while loop, I have made it as a do while loop. The same output I got it. The only change is here. We are checking the condition after one first initial iteration. This will be helpful in the situation where, okay, you will be having a situation where you don't know the priorly certain values or to evaluate the condition. If you have such situations, better to go for the do while loop. But this is also using for repetitive task. I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, I is equal to 3, I is equal to 4. Instead of repeating n times, we can using simple lines, we can able to execute it. Now, similar to that, the last loop we have is what we are talking about is a for loop. So this is the finally, let me take the same example and better understand this. So usually, like instead of writing this much lengthy, these things, so in one statement, people can finish, that is a for loop. Let me go for the syntax here first, as usual. In the for loop, this is the another way of doing the repetitive task. There we should use the for keyword kind of things, okay? Like here we have initialization, then condition checking, then we have a increment and decrement, these things. Then we will be having the statements. If we use the same program, just for better understanding, initialization is there here, I is equal to 1. So I can write here for is equal to I is equal to 1. Condition checking, I less than or equal to 5. So I can copy here this one. And increment is I is equal to I plus 1. I can write this one is here. Then the same statement I am taking here and I am putting here. Sum is equal to sum plus I. and then the result should be the same. So this is nothing but initialization, condition checking, and increment operator. So we are doing the increment operations, and we are able to we are able to like a we are waiting for the like a adding the initialization here. So once you initialize this, okay, we are able to initialize sum is equal to sum plus I. So we are able to initialize, and then we can perform the printf. We can perform the total sum here. So like this, we can able to execute the same operation using the another. So this is how we can do the printf operations. Let me go here. Let me go here and let us discuss the same example here as well. Okay. Okay. Now let me go once again. Let me open. So if you want to do the same sum.c, if you look at here, like a sum is equal to 0, this we have already discussed. Do while loop also we have discussed. Now if I want to convert into the same, what I have told is just I am removing this as I explained, initialization. Then I am copying this I less than or equal to n. So that I have done. Then I is equal to I plus 1. So same statement. If you look at below, sum is equal to sum plus I. So we are doing the same. So I am doing the same operation. So if you look at this, okay, here in the for loop, same thing we are doing. So enter the limit to a limit. I have not changed any modification other than the modification of putting this initialization, condition checking, and as well as a increment operations. Now,
Hello?
if I want to perform, let me perform
Yeah,
this.
are you able to attend it?
Yeah. So
Okay, no issue, na?
okay. Now,
Okay.
if I put the limit, I can able to see this, okay, total 15. So like this, we can able to execute the same program, right? Okay. So it means that the repetitive task performing sum is equal to 0, sum is I is equal when I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, I
अरे
is equal
तू
to 3.
YouTube पे देख रही है,
Okay.
मैं Zoom में देख
I
रहा हूँ.
is equal to 4. Okay. We are able to execute the same. So that is what we are talking about, how to perform using the looping constructs. Looping constructs means, so either we are using while loop, either we are using the do while loop, either we are using the for loop. There are 3 different types of loops are available, so that we can work with the these things actually. Now, if you understand further, okay, these are the simplest way to perform the looping constructs. So we have understood, if we use the for loop, there will be a starting number, there will be a loop condition, there will be increase or decrease operations will be there. And this is how we have done repetitive task we are able to do here. And similarly, while loop, we have discussed initialization, while condition, statement 1, statement 2, increment, decrement operation. And here also we are able to do the same operations. Similarly, like a while loop, we can perform the do while loop also. And finally, so we could able to execute similar set of programs using the while, do while, and for loop. Now, similarly, let me do one more program for better understanding of the looping concept. Here, when we are working on the looping concept, as usual, once again, if you look at this notepad, whatever I have done, we started with while loop. Next, we went to the do while loop, for loop. What is the common factor? So in any syntax, there will be initialization, there will be a condition checking, and there will be increment decrement operator. Only thing is order is changed for the repetitive task. Here, so here initialization is done, here condition checking is done, then we have performed the statement, then increment or decrement operate. This is called while loop. Similarly, do while loop. So same thing, initialization by default, and we enter to the statement. So instead of doing this condition checking here, we have to do the last part of this. Once it is computed, and the increment decrement remains same. So that means this is how we have done. When you using the for loop, okay, initialization, condition checking, increment decrement. So initialization, what we have here, so that we have done here, and then condition checking here, then I is equal to I plus 1, increment decrement, then statement has executed. So this is how we can simplify the operations of the various looping constructs like a while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Suppose let me take one simple example. One more time. Like for example, if I want to perform sum of first 10 natural numbers, slight part of it, divisible by 3. So if I want to perform sum of n natural numbers divisible by 3, I may use while loop first. So how you can write it? So usually number divisible by 3 means okay. Like you can increment 3 times and you can do that. For example, if I want to write it, hash include similar to that, right? Studio.h. Okay. Then as usual, you write, these are some common standard lines, you write it in the program. Okay. Then you used to copy void main or int main. Okay. So you can write here. Then you have to do the declaration part. Int sum is equal to 0. Okay. Count is equal to 0. And comma. And sorry, or comma, not semicolon. Because otherwise we have to write in the different lines. And num is equal to initialize. Something like this. Now, clear screen I can write here. And if you want to perform like a sum of 10 natural numbers, which is divisible by 3, means assume that numbers may be natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which are divisible by perfectly 3, 6, and 9. So we have to divide it by this, and remainder is equal to. So when you do this, when you perform divided by 3, it will be remainder will be 0. Such numbers we are performing sum. So such numbers we are performing sum. So now if we want to understand now, let me write, I can use while loop, do while loop, for loop. So let me use first while loop. As per the while loop, okay, first while loop, there is a syntax saying that this is a initialization, condition, and statements. So if I want to perform here, initialization is nothing but what is that? Like sum is equal to 0, count is equal to 0, and num. So if you want to initialize this, okay, already it is initialized. Num, I can initialize number also. Okay. So usually different ways I can do. 3 times I can write, okay, increment this or divide by this. For example, while, okay. Now what I have to do is count. It is started with 0. So let me initialize here. Count is equal to 0. Count less than, if it starts with 0, or if you start with 1, then less than or equal to, okay, 10, right? So here like a sum of 10 up to 10. If it is nothing but I can give sum 10. Okay, I have written this. Now what I have to do is I have to sum is equal to sum plus. Okay, so if I want to the count, we should have okay number if count is equal to 1, 2, 3. So if count, okay, divided by multiples of 3, I can do that. Sum is equal to sum plus num. Okay, so num I have to initialize to is equal to 3. So if I want to do this, count is equal to count divided by count is nothing but here first 1, then 1 if it is not divisible by 3, okay, and remainder is not equal to 0. If its remainder is equal to 0, then we are performing count. Otherwise, we are not performing the count. Only when it is equal to 0, we are performing the sum. Then count, I have to keep incrementing this. After for loop, count is equal to count plus 1. If you look at here, count is started with 1, 1 less than or equal to 10, 1 modulus 3 is equal, its remainder is not equal to 0, then automatically counter will be incremented. Then 2, 3, but whenever it is divisible by 3, so 3, when it equal to 0, 3, this count will be stored into a sum, and we are adding that. That means it is this loop will enter only when count is equal to 3, count is equal to 6, and count is equal to 9. Only these 3 scenarios, this is entering here. Then it is, we are performing the, in all the cases, it is incrementing. All the cases, it is incrementing. And then we are going to print outside total sum is, okay, we are printing sum. So this is how we can write simple program using the while loop. So you can able to see that. Then sum will be 6 plus 3, 9, 9 plus 9, almost 18. So that means total, it should give 8. So this is the output you can get it. So output I have got it is 8. Similar to this, if I want to, this is a while loop, right? This is a while loop. Now, if I want to perform using the do while loop, if I want to perform do while loop, so now if I want to perform using the same condition, but we are using the do while loop. Let me, so then I have to copy, just see the simple modification. So I am pasting here. This is what I have to do. And then rest of the things will remain same. And for example, count 1, num-sum, it condition checks. So that's all it is doing. This is now, we call it as a do while. Similarly, if I want to perform for loop, for same example, for loop. So the same thing, let me, first initialization is required. For count is equal to 1. Then condition I am adding here. Then I am adding this condition here. Okay. Then I will copy and paste this, checking this condition. Then, okay. it is performing and printing. So that means this many lines of code will be saved. Okay, so this is how we can do the operations. Okay, this is how we can save the operations. Now, if you see this, okay, same initialization, same condition checking and incrementing, okay, and we are performing the same operation. This is how we can perform the total sum. So we have understood there are three different types of looping constructs: while loop, do while loop, for loop, and for the same purpose. So you can use, if you are comfortable, you can use while loop. If you are comfortable with do while loop, you can use for the same situation and for loop. Majority of people will use this because it takes in one line. We can complete the code. So that's why majority of people are using for loop. And sometimes we use the while loop. And last choice will be the do while loop. So this is how normally as a developer we use this. So that's why we have three looping construct: while, do while, and for loop. So we using this, we can able to execute. Now the next concept is like a break statement. So this is one of the important concept. Just if I want to come out of the loop, it may be while, do while, or for loop. How to come out of that loop? So that is the condition. So if you want to come out of this, we have two concepts. One is like a continue, another one is break. So the continue is nothing but it is continuing the same statement, but it is skipping the some statements. Whereas break is nothing but it is completely coming out of the loop. Let me explain this with one example so that you can have a further understanding. Let me go to the, there are two concepts what we are talking about, which is more popular: break and continue. Both statements are used to skip the loops. Okay, skip the loops. Even though if you write in a some constructs, but both times we are using for skipping the certain loops, we will be using the break and continue. Break and continue. Let me take one simple example. If I want to perform what we call it as a just the Fibonacci series or prime series. Prime series is the one example. So let me take one example. What is prime series? If you mathematically, if you know what is prime series is nothing but, okay, prime series. Before that, let us understand first. Okay, so assume that I have a while loop, some condition. Okay, then here we have some if statement. Here also I have some condition. Now, when you are doing this, if its condition is true, assume that here I have some statement 3. Here I have a statement 1. Here I have a statement 2. So here I may be having the statement 4. So I have while condition, statement 2, statement 3, and statement 1. Now, when this condition 2 occurs, I want to break. That means I want to come out of, and there may be a statement 5. Now, if I use the break statement, okay, assume that this statement becomes true. This becomes true. Then it may execute statement 1. Then it may execute statement 2. After that, if you give break statement, it will not print statement 3 and statement 4, but it will exit from this loop only. What is this loop? While loop only. So that means from here directly it will go and execute this statement. So once again repeating, whenever any loop is there, I have taken, for instance, I have taken while condition. Whenever we come to the while conditions, assume that there will be some conditional check. Now, if that is positive, if you give break statement, it is not breaking this if loop, but it is breaking the complete while loop. Whenever it comes, whichever the loop belongs to this, it may be while loop, it may be do while loop, it may be a for loop, it is breaking test. So that is what it is doing, the while loop. Similarly, for example, if you have continue here, continue here, okay, then so what it does, like it will execute this, if it is true, it will come, it will skip at this moment 3 4, but it will go back to condition and it will not come to here till this condition is complete. Here, when you break, if you give, whether this condition is satisfied or not, it is coming out of the loop. Continue, it is restarting this one, and this statement will not be executed when that condition is true, but rest of the statement, once again, it will repeat the task. But this type of statement, we call it as a continuity. Continue is nothing but it is going back to here. Break is nothing but it is going to here. So continue, once it is doing, it skip these further statements and it will move to the, once again, condition check and it do the same operation. But whereas break statement, if you add here, it will come out of this loop. So this is the two important things we should remember. There are two statements we have. One is break, another one is continue. So if you use this break and continue, and you can able to understand both a break, how break will happen, how continue will happen. So using this, we can able to execute different set of statements. So for further, let us do few programs for better understanding of this looping constructs. And quickly, if I summarize what we try to understand today, we try to understand there is a concept called looping constructs. And in that looping construct, the main objective of looping constructs is to perform repetitive tasks. Okay. There are three varieties of looping constructs. One is while loop, do while loop, and for loop. In while loop, we have understood there is a syntax like this: initialization, while, condition checking, and statements are there, and increment, decrement. With this example, we have appreciated that how condition we can give, how condition and how statement will be executed, and how we are giving the increment and decrement operator. Then we try to understand with the sequence. Then same program we modified to a do while loop. When we did a modification, so do same condition I have shifted here, and rest of the things remain same. This is called do while loop. Before checking a condition, once it will enter, then only it will check. In some scenarios where there is no prior data to check the condition, better to enter, then check the condition. So that situation, people are using the do while loop. Then same program we executed through the for loop, right? We executed and tried to understand, because repeatedly these looping constructs we are keep using in the program. The same program, so what we have done, same initialization we have done here. Then we have done condition checking, then increment, decrement. Same statements we took and copy pasted here, and we are able to execute the statements. So initialization here, condition checking here, increment, decrement operation here, and we are performing the sum, and this is how we are able to do that. So for this is how we can understand the looping constructs can be used to perform the repetitive task. So with that note, we try to better understand with this example. We have tried and we have repeated the same task using a while loop, do while loop, and as well as the for loop. After that, what we have tried? So break and continue. What is break? Break is nothing but if you put the break here, okay, if condition is satisfied, condition satisfied, it will go to the statement 3. If it is condition is not satisfied, okay, it will go to the like a continue. If you give, it will go to the same condition and it will recheck. So this is the difference between continue and break. And using that, we are performing most of the time, our task will be executed. So that means if you practice few programs, definitely you can able to appreciate. So let me do what kind of problems we can do that. Just simple one task I wanted to perform. Let us understand, let us do 1 or 2 programs for better understanding. Let me understand what is Fibonacci series. What is Fibonacci series? We are having 0, 1, then 0 is the first number, then 1 is the second number. I can give one more number. So 0 plus 1, 1. Now what I'm doing is 0 and 1. Together we perform the 0 plus 1, 1. 1 plus 1, then it becomes the 2. 2 plus 1, it becomes the 3. 3, 2 plus 3, it becomes 5. 3 plus 5, it becomes 8. So what exactly we are doing that? Previously, 2 repetitive sums we are doing. 2 numbers repetitively we are doing. So Fibonacci series, what is doing? It is taking first number, second number, 0 plus 2, it giving the third number. That means previous number, it may be a first number. Okay, this may be a second number. The third number is equal to first number plus second. So this is what we are doing the printing of this. Now assume that once again, we have printed third number. Next, I want to shift this first number to a second number to a third number. Then what I can do? First number is 0. That can be initialized to a second number. That means it becomes 1. Second number, it becomes third number. I will be initialized to a third number. Then because of that, it also becomes the 1. And third number will be next number. So 1 plus 1, this will be the 2. Similarly, if we keep shifting that, I always do the sum of third number will be the previous number. So this is how we can use to perform this repetitive task. I need looping constructs. Let me write simple program. Let me go here. So we'll try this program for today and we'll conclude it. So let me go here. Okay. Let me save file name. So let me write. So program name is find the or generate the Fibonacci series. What is the objective? Understand the looping constructs better. So that is our object. Now, as usual, so Alt F, save as. So let me fib dot. So I have done the fib.c. Now cache include studio.h. So as usual, standard lines. Hash include conio.h. Void main. So then I can be adding the Fibonacci series, nothing but int. First number is equal to 0. Second number is equal to 1. And third number, it will be repeated. So now, let me give clear screen. We have done this. Now first number is 0. That is nothing but 0 as usual. Second number is equal to 1. then I can use any condition, while or do while. Let me use while loop. Okay. So here, if it is second number less than, so I wanted to, till what number I have to generate the Fibonacci series. Let me write n. Okay, or I can give limit. It is up to us, the variable name, what we give. So now let me read this value. Printf, enter the limit. Okay, scanf. Okay, ampersand. So we have done this. Now I can write first number or third number. So third number is equal to, so first number plus second number. I can do that. So or initialize it to 0. Let me write third number less than or equal to limit. Now I have to do the repetitive task. What is the repetitive task? Third number is equal to first number plus second number. Print f %d third number, and so you should not give a space sometimes. Okay, problem. So here then first number is equal to second number. I am initializing. Second number is equal to third number. Now, so I have completed till limit. Then get ch. So I am like this. So we have done simple program. So control F2. So F2, control F9. So enter the limit. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So I think you will better understand if I give new line here. Next line. Control F9. Let me give 13. You can see that 0, 1, 2, 3. So let me print this F1. Okay, so 8 numbers are generated. So if I want to print 0, 0, so then I have to take this. Third number, first number, the second number. So here, control F9. So 0, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 3, 13. 8. So how many numbers are there? 0, 1, 1, 2, 4 numbers, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers are there. So this is how we can generate the prime series, Fibonacci series, where that is a sum of the numbers it is printing. So this is how we can utilize a while loop for repetitive task. Repetitive task, if I want to perform, this is one of the best example to demonstrate how to use this. So instead of this, I can use do while loop also for the same purpose, and also I can use the for loop for the same purpose. At the end of this, we have realized that, okay, what exactly the for loop or while loop or do while loop. For example, if I want to break this, if third number is equal to, okay, third number is equal to something like that, I will make it as a 8 or 3. If I want to break this, just to make sure that if to understand better for you people, So if I give the break, let us try the same. What is happening? So it has broken when the number limit, so it has a third number is equal to 3. Automatically, this is skipped actually. Entire while loop has been skipped and it is printing to, let me write one message here. So welcome outside the loop. So if you do this, printf, so print is a Python code, okay. So now if I make 8, so you can see that it is coming outside the loop actually. Instead of that, I will make this as a continue. Same 8 I will give. So like this, okay. When third number is equal to 3. So let me write here one statement, printf, I am here. Okay, so I am here, 8. So every time it is printing the, I am here 1, I am here 2, I am here 3. But when it's equal to 3, okay, what it is doing? So that is nothing but it is not printing this one directly, it is going for 5, 8, 13. It means that, okay, whenever it is 3, it is going here back. Whereas break, if you give, automatically, okay, automatically moving out of this loop itself. For example, here, so it is moving out of that loop itself. So it is not after 3, it is not going here itself, directly it is coming here. So that is the difference between break and continue. Break will break the entire loop. Continue will reinitiate the same loop, but the next statement of that will be, at that scenario, it will not be executed. This is the difference between break and continue. And with this note, we are able to appreciate and understand. So what is the difference between break and continue? So that means today we are able to learn what is looping construct and what is break and what is continue as a part of looping construct. So this is how we can understand further. Any questions here? Any questions, please? Able to follow? At least you people should able to carefully if you follow, and if then definitely you can able to understand. This is a simple program, and if you are able to understand this, definitely you can able to write complex programs in further. Okay. With this note, we wanted to conclude for today's session. Any questions before leaving from here? Muhammad Atai?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, actually, today we joined the class a little late. There was no link, sir.
That's okay. They can go through the recordings if they have skipped that. But
Yeah.
anyhow, this is an important topic. Ask them to
Yes,
go through that. And we are not worried about how many people join. Even one person is able to learn, then that's okay for me.
Sir, actually, we were not informed about database classes also, sir.
Database?
Yeah, database classes. We were not aware about that.
Okay, so like anyhow, that today's recording you can see it, and from tomorrow ask them to join. Okay,
So
because as I
even
said, foundation is there are two part. The two
Yes.
parallel sessions if you take, we can conclude at the earliest foundation courses.
For 2 weeks, that's for 2 weeks, sir.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, and from 7 to 8 p.m.
7 to 8 and 8 to 9. 7 to
Okay,
8
sir.
is database, and 8 to 9 is as usual. Our C program will continue. Within 3 weeks, a database foundation also will be completed, C foundation. Then object-oriented C++, we can start.
Yes, sir. Actually, today there was little misunderstanding. There was no link in the group. No, only database link was there. No, not a programming link, sir.
Yeah.
So Yes.
I think our team members has missed it, okay? And I asked them
Yes,
to
sir.
miss once again, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine, no